I know.
Here's a question for you. You work as part of a team on the protective detail of an ultra high net worth family. You are assigned to watching his daughter, who is very independent, opinionated, and at times rebellious. While escorting her one night, you observe her doing drugs and see she has an adverse reaction, which clears up before it becomes a full-blown medical emergency. The next day, the principal asks if anything unusual happened the night previous. What do you say? Does it make a difference knowing the daughter inherits her own protective detail when she turns 21 next month, and that you are the likely candidate to head it? Choose carefully.
Yeah, so start with you, Rock.
The story kind of evolved. My answer evolved as I heard the story, because I assumed this girl was like 15 or something. When they like she turned 21 next month, I'm like, she's an adult at that point. If she's 20 years old or about to be 21 and she's doing drugs, I feel like off principle, you kind of you gotta be quiet about that. You gotta kind of let that be like a family matter or her decision on what she wants to tell her dad that she did as an adult. Yeah. Again, if I'm watching a family and this daughter's 15 and we have a drug overdose or something like that, like I'm definitely saying something, because it's a minor and I was paid to keep this minor safe. But if you're an adult and you just do different stuff, like, I mean, you know, it is certain clients in the same manner that a husband may act different with you than they act when they with their wife or whatever. Like, I can't shape shift, you know, my principles based on who I'm with. Tough spot though, not a good spot. You also have the safety net too. Last point. If she's good, that's kind of like your safety net. Let's just say something happens and it's like she's going to the hospital, we don't know what's going on. That's when you can reach out, like when shit turns, you know, damn near fatal, like it's a legitimate emergency. But if you could clear it up before anything gets super dangerous, like, you know, you gotta stay solid, I would think. It's tough though.
G, what do you think?
So because I am employed by the family and not just by the daughter, I would feel like I'm obligated to say something to the father. Because you could sit there and say, hey, that's my safety net when she turned 21, but that's if she makes it. You know what I mean? I would tell the father, like, what's going on, you know, what happened. We handled the situation, and I'm not gonna, like I said before, the money is not gonna stop me from being who I am, you know, because I am employed by the family, not just her. If I was employed by her, then I wouldn't say nothing to the father. But as far as the family together, he put me on the detail because he trusted with his daughter, and he would expect me to relay anything, you know, that happens.
Yeah, because it's potentially dangerous.
Yeah.
If the father asks you and you immediately tell the father this happened, then that girl is probably, that relationship probably over with. Because from that point on, she's going to see you as one of her dad's eyes and ears, and y'all's relationship is going to suffer. Would you potentially talk to her? Like, would you potentially have a serious conversation with her, or do you think that's up to her father?
No, well, it is up to her father, but I would still, you know, talk to her, give her my input, and tell her, like, I won't say anything unless she asks, you know, but you got to understand, like, this is potentially dangerous for you.
So you haven't told the dad yet, but as a drug situation, she almost overdosed. We came through it, had a crazy night. You ended up getting her back home. On the ride home or the next day, is there something, or maybe even after the dad asked, since your initial answer was, I wouldn't tell him, because again, patterns. Once you allow something to occur, now she's like, okay, rock with me. He's cool.
No, I will still check her privately, probably even before we get there. Like, okay, I know some crazy shit went down. I'm not going to say anything because you're grown, but I'm not here to be your overdosing buddy. So if this ever happens again and we get close to this, like, we're going to have to talk to somebody about it, because I can't have your blood on my hands, essentially. Yeah. You know, because then it does tap into that human part, or just the moral part. Like, what you look like she overdosed 2 months later and the dad don't know, you know, you've been watching her overdose every weekend or whatever the deal is. So I guess I'll give that one, I would say.
Yeah.
So basically, GDO point, how far do you draw the line when you are dealing with an adult, even though you're employed by the family? Let's say you're employed by the family, but he wants you to watch his brother who's 40, who flies in from out of town. You know, are you still repeating things like that? A similar story? You know, like,
good point.
With somebody being an adult, like, how far, what's the line on that?
In my eyes, she's still a child. And the way she's acting as well. That's how I look at it. But as far as his brother, And he's a grown man, but his seed, his daughter, I feel like that's a little different.
So he put you in a crazy situation. He's starting to show every time y'all go out, he's getting drunk, doing something crazy, and y'all got in a shootout. Y'all got in a shootout. Because it's the equivalent. If she's doing drugs and almost dies, it's the equivalent. It's a life or death situation. It's an emergency. Would you mention that?
It kind of reminds me of that one of those shows that's on right now, Beauty in Black, with they got their security detail and all the stuff that's going on, and behind the scenes, and some stuff get told, some stuff doesn't. But as a whole, I'll just do my job for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I would. We also got to keep in mind, again, this is my personal opinion. There's not a one solution meets all. Like in every situation, you do this. Like it could be the same exact situation, but I might respond differently. So, and it also depends on the guard. People got their preference of how they want to work. Me personally, I don't want to work with people who get me in shootouts every time we go out. It's similar. It's like working with a dangerous artist. Like, yeah, I ain't got to say nothing, but I don't want to be paired with him. I don't want to be dealing with.
We're back off of that. Yeah.
Back. So I could tell in that situation, I would definitely tell, since the main client or principal, whoever is the one who pays me, it won't necessarily be a snitching thing. You'll just be like, it's not about snitching, it's just about how I work. Like, your brother got us in some shootouts. I don't know what he's on, but I'll work with y'all. I work with you or whatever, but I will not go with your brother anymore. Y'all can find somebody else for that, or however you feel about that. It is what it is, but I'm not doing that.
I'm not telling you to come to a resolution with him or so that you could talk to him. I'm just telling you this is what's going on from this point forward.
Exactly. Yeah. I personally don't want to do that. Again, I think, every situation ain't the same. With the daughter, it's a different situation. Like, you're 20 years old, you're almost 21, whatever. I would tell her, like, all right, don't put me in that position again type shit. But, it just kind of, it varies. It definitely varies. And also varies on your personality as a client. I mean, as a guard. Like, what do you want to put up with, or what your hard lines are. But it's not really a right answer for real.
Right.
There is. Right. Yeah, because there are people who just like, I would tell. As a father, I would tell him this is what's going on because he deserves to know. And again, that's his daughter. If it was my daughter, I'd want to know. So, but there's a gray area there. I was thinking, once you cross the line and say something that happened on the detail, something personal, I feel like it damages your reputation, because in the back of that client's mind, and we work with some guys who are very street smart. We work with some guys who think a little bit deeper than like what's on the surface. And so in their mind, even though they may be glad you told them something, in the back of their mind, they're like, there's a limit. Like, he'll tell, you know what I mean? Like in certain situations, he's not going to hold it down. That's the way that they're going to see that.
For sure. Yeah, they would think, especially with some people we work with, they would also be like, well, what's your line for me? Like, what would you see me do and go and whatever? And I also want to go back to this daughter thing. I'm not getting in your family circle. I'm not at the dinner table with y'all. Like, so what happened last night? And now I'm in between her and the dad. And this, well, he said he saw you with the. Shit can get out of hand. And if we thinking long term, like, skip the part about you being the head of her security next month. You know just how girls are. Or if they get that vendetta, like, Daddy, I'm not going nowhere with him, period. And so now the principal's like, well, the last situation, so we got to put a different guy on her. But, I really appreciate you telling me, like.
For sure.
It's like you kind of got to stay solid, just depending on, again, what's your goal, what's your longevity with it, how much do you care about that account or whatever. But
it's kind of like G said, it's you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
For sure.
And I think I would say there is no right or wrong answer, but based off of, if you just want to say industry standard best practice, be quiet, mind your business. Yeah. Would you agree? Like, if you just want to stay safe, keep working, do the job, keep quiet.
That's true too, but you still gotta, in that situation, say you did keep quiet. Then she overdosed again, and something happens, and he's like, "Have you seen this?" And then they say, "Well, it happened before last week, or a month ago, and he was with him this time." So regardless,
then you're not staying silent. Again, if you approach it like how some people approach it, which is like, this is my job. It's like if you work for any other job. I'm not going above and doing all the extra stuff. I'm sticking to what I'm supposed to be doing. Security. I left with this individual. They came back and I returned them to you safely. And I'm going about my business back to my family and back home. So like, that's the way some people may see it. Is just like, I want to continue to get the most work I can. I want to stay out of drama and stuff that ain't got nothing to do with me. So yeah, I mean, I can see it both ways. I could definitely see it both ways. And if something were to happen and she has another overdose situation,
and he finds out you knew about the first situation, it was another situation. It's the same thing. You're gonna be gone again.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, you're gonna be gone all the way instead of, okay, I could just put you on my wife, or you could stay with me.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? Now you're totally gone.
Yeah,
it's tough. I think about it like almost like a domestic violence situation. Like, you know how they tell you not to get involved if somebody and their husband fighting or whatever, because usually the woman gonna stay anyway. And all
Stay anyway.
all you did was smear your name in the process.
That's
So
a good point.
it makes me wonder, and that's why I say, like, it makes me wonder, like, let's say they get it all cleared up and the dad comes back after it's all over, the emotional high is gone. And let's say the daughter's telling him, like, okay, dad, I know it all happened, but he should have let me talk to you about that. Like, you're my dad. I was planning to tell you. He inserted himself in our family business. Like, it could just be like, yeah, after thinking about it, yeah, I appreciate it, but you kind of breached my daughter's trust and you kind of got in our family dynamic, and it was just too much. We're just going to go with somebody else because you know too much. It's too gossipy. I don't know. It's a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. You don't get involved because, again, those individuals are family. We are not family. Once the dust clears and daughter gets in daddy's ear and says she felt betrayed, or he exaggerated, or he lied, and because you stepped out there and tried to do something noble, you gone. So yeah, it's something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all day long. Again, if they're a minor, I'm telling all day.
Minor, you're wilding out.
Yeah, like, bro, I'm not here for that. And if a parent don't like me saying something about that, yeah, y'all can get rid of me.
But it's also like, where's the line? There's a lot of things that somebody could get into that could be seen as like, if you're out with the daughter and she gets in a fight with her boyfriend, they get to throwing hands and you got to step in. Do you mention that? That could potentially come back and lead to something violent. If you see her steal something, if you see her run off, is she trying to have sex with some boy and you catch her in the back of the car? Do you say something then? There's a lot of things, like it's a lot of gray area. Like,
it's hella gray.
It's a lot of gray, but yeah.
That's why I say, as a guard, you kind of, you cater your clients to what you are comfortable with.
Yeah.
Like, you know how it is. Sometimes we work with people and we like, yeah, I ain't working with them ever again. Like, they too much. So it's like, you don't have to stay stuck in it per se. Like, I got to figure out how I'm going to navigate. You just be like, y'all going to have to find somebody else. This is too much for me. Again, depending on you, as your personality, what you're going to put up with.
Yeah. And if they ask for a reason, just like, man, it's just personal. Good thoughts, ethical questions. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all taking the time out to answer these questions. I'm sure the people watching this got some value from it, got them thinking, and that's all this is about.
Thanks for watching the Doormen Podcast. Subscribe for more content.